With two detainees being killed by a sniper in Dallas, it seems that the Republicans are not really going to run with this story. Let's check out a couple of news feeds and I'll give my opinion why.
We're tracking a developing story in Texas where 3 detainees have been shot at an ICE field office in Dallas. An ICE spokesperson has now confirmed that 2 of the 3 people shot are dead. The third in the hospital. No ICE officers were hurt. The shooter died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The spokesperson cautioned that information still very fluid. Joining us now, MSNBC national correspondent Rosa Flores. Rosa, anything else that we've learned here as to this shooting, developing situation out of Dallas?
You know, Jonathan, we're making phone calls. I actually just heard from an FBI spokesperson who said that FBI agents are headed to the scene. They would not elaborate anymore. As you mentioned, the situation is very fluid, but we are making phone calls to learn more. We also learned that the scene is in the control of Dallas PD. So we're making those phone calls as well to try to learn more information. But we have learned from ICE, according to an ICE spokesperson, as you mentioned, 3 individuals were shot. 2 of them have died. The third individual is in the hospital. And ICE pointed out that ICE agents were not hurt. Now, they are investigating the motive of the shooting, but of course, it's very early in the investigation.
So let's just focus on that now. No ICE agents were hurt. So Trump can't run with it. Uncle J.D. Vance can't run with it. Uncle Tom Homan, he can't run with it. Other Republicans or conservatives, they all can't run with it now. No ICE agents were hurt. So we don't need a Supreme Gestapo to come out there now. All right. So let's just focus on that. And let's get to the next news feed that shows that they raided a couple of houses. The FBI raided a couple of houses, and we'll see what that's going on.
And starting this afternoon, we saw police and FBI carrying out searches at 2 homes possibly connected to the shooter. First was in Fairview, just south of McKinney, at a home in a neighborhood near 75 in the Sam Rayburn Tollway.
Yeah, the second was a home in Durant, Oklahoma. Authorities are there right now at the scene investigating. This is in a fairly rural area, just a few miles west of US 75. And that's where we're joined now by Fox 4's Stephen Dial, who's been following this police activity as it moved north from the scene in Dallas. Stephen.
Suspect, 29-year-old.
Hannah, we've been in Durant, Oklahoma for multiple hours, but we've just started seeing recent activity in the last 30 minutes. I'm going to step out of the shot so you can see what's happening. Before you see the B-roll that we shot moments ago, you see a Bryan County Sheriff's deputy driving down this road. Behind it is a home connected to the suspected gunman in the Dallas ICE shooting. Now I want you to look at video that we shot less than 30 minutes ago. In that video, you see an armored vehicle coming in with a battering ram and other multiple federal law enforcement agencies. At least the ATF and FBI are here on the scene. Moments after they entered the property, we heard a loud bang. Could have been them breaching a door, could have been a flashbang. I don't know because it's so far away from this property. But more activity in the last 30 minutes here in Durant, Oklahoma. Now, earlier today, we were in Fairview, Texas. That's outside of McKinney. There is another property associated with the alleged gunman in this Dallas ICE shooting. There, we actually were on scene when we saw what appeared to be family members arriving, and later the FBI and federal agents showed up at that location. Now, it's a quiet neighborhood, of course, like you typically hear with these types of stories. We talked to a neighbor. Take a listen.
And I went out to check the mail, and I saw Fairview police here and a few other cars, and I, started wondering what was on. And then my neighbor across the street from me had texted me and told me what was going on, and it's just, you're kind of shocked and amazed that it could happen that close to you.
True.
So here back in Durant.
I agree. Say you live in a quiet neighborhood, and next thing you know, you see all this ruckus outside. You go into your mailbox and everything, because that's like, the best thing that you do all day. You go and you see your neighbor Johnny, like, hey, Johnny, and everything. And, you just see all this craziness, all these cops and ATF and FBI. You're like, what the hell's going on here? And next thing you know, you get a text and everything. And Johnny be like, look out. One of our neighbors killed a couple of ICE detainees. You be like, what? That's crazy. That's crazy. But you know, that's how it be sometimes in these small towns and everything. I wouldn't mind living in a small town, you know, with my nice wife and everything, a couple of kiddos and stuff. But I don't know. I love New York. I love New York. I mean, let's check out another one. Let's see what another news feed have to say. Hey, everybody. I want to take this short break to thank you so much for watching this video up to this point. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please like the video, make some comments after you watch it all the way through, and subscribe to this channel if you're not a subscriber. All that good stuff will help as I continue to grow on this YouTube platform. I really appreciate you watching. Let's get back to it.
You know, you can imagine the kind of fear that those folks were feeling in the moments that those shots rang out, what they were feeling at the moment just before 7 o'clock. The sun hasn't even come out yet, and yet you hear these gunshots. So we're going to go ahead and show you what they had to say about that. The witness who recorded that on her phone, we do want to warn folks that we are going to show a more extended version of this clip. This is something that might be, some folks might find it disturbing. So we just want to give you a fair warning of what you're about to hear and what you're about to listen to. Have a look.
Ay, no sé. No sé. Ay, Señor. Eso está muy cerca. Eso está muy cerca.
About 8 seconds into this clip, you can hear a woman in the back seat speaking in Spanish saying those shots are close. Then you hear some more.
Se escucha.
The woman who recorded it all is 38-year-old Denisis Robleto. She was here this morning to bring her mother to a scheduled check-in appointment with ICE officials. She says she was waiting outside in her car when the gunfire broke out. She says in the moment she didn't even think of her own kids, but rather her mom, who was inside, all while trying to figure out where those shots were coming from.
Crazy.
So many thoughts ran through her mind, she says. She adds, my legs started shaking and my hands too. Robleto says even though she was beginning to panic, she had enough awareness to know the gunfire was coming from an area directly next to where she was parked.
Como en el parqueo también que hubieron disparos, pero no sabíamos si eran los de ICE que estaban respondiendo.
She claims what she didn't know at first was if those shots were aimed at ICE or if ICE was doing the shooting. Investigators say the shooter had perched himself on either the roof or an external fire escape outside of a nearby building before he began shooting down on the ICE facility.
So when you think about this, right? And there's a picture out there where there's some bullets with anti-ice on it and stuff. Shout out to the lady. You know, I didn't understand what she was saying, but you know, shout out to interpreters because we kind of know what is going on. But that's the universal language. If you hear gunshots, you're gonna be like, oh, you know, nobody's just gonna be like, hey, where's that coming from? You know, so shout out to her. And hopefully whatever she's going through with ICE, hopefully she gets through it and stuff like that. But we have to really understand that it's a lot of things going on that is causing us to constantly think of new things or new things brushed upon us. And we're not thinking about, wait a minute, wasn't we getting close again to Epstein files? So now all this stuff is going on. They want all these distractions. That's what they do. They want all these distractions to happen so that we don't focus on, hey, listen, we want to know who is in the Epstein files. And it's getting crazier and crazier out here. But, you know, I feel that the things that's going on right now is a little iffy. All right. My condolences to the detainees who died and stuff like that. They didn't deserve that. We don't know what they did. Okay. No one deserves to get sniped like that. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy. You know, these men or women, they had families and stuff like that. We just don't know. But it seems that since it was no ICE agents who got killed, that conservatives can't really run with this. They're going to try. They're going to try, and, you know, more Gestapo-ness will happen. But I hope not, because I don't really want to see it. And if I understand one thing, when it comes down to, you know, just the way things go, when they go after other people and you champion them like, yeah, go after those people, go after those immigrants. What happens when there's no more immigrants to go after? Who are they going to go after? They're going to go after you. You'll be like, oh, no, I voted for you. No, they're going to go after you because that's what happens. So we really have to be careful with the things that's going on. Hopefully this guy maybe left a manifesto or his reasons for wanting to do what he did. But I'll be honest with you, in my opinion, this sounds like a setup because it just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. I think that maybe this guy was a crazy person. All right. You have some conservative woman, I think Laura Luma, somebody believe her name, talking about, oh yeah, he was a part of Antifa. Okay. Like 99.99% of people are part of Antifa was not doing any, blasting people and stuff. But of course they want y'all conservatives to think about that. They want to scare y'all so that y'all don't think, wait, let's ask about the Epstein files. Let's see if Uncle Big Daddy Trump was in the Epstein files, which I believe he is, and I believe he was. But that's beside the point. That's just how I feel about it. And let's find out what's going on. But my brothers and sisters, this is a crazy one, and I would like to hear from you. What do you think about this right here? Because it's a very crazy thing that happened, and I feel that we're gonna have more distractions so that we can not, or you can just be, wary of the things that's going on and totally forget about the Epstein files. That's my opinion to it, and I'm gonna stick with that. But I really appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for watching, especially watching all the way to the end. I really appreciate your time. If you haven't already, please like the video, make some comments, and subscribe to this channel. All that good stuff will help as I continue to grow on this YouTube platform. Thank you for watching. Be safe. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Peace.